Hello and welcome back to Sakura Angels. In the last episode, Kenta was going through yet another quote-unquote normal school day for him alongside his two new guardian angels. He got a little closer to Hikari as he spent some quality time talking to her on the roof. Unfortunately, their little talk got cut off as other students picked the roof for their lunch spot. After school, while heading back, once again they were attacked by the demon girl. And with Hikari and Sayaka working together, they actually managed to land a hit and to shake her up a bit. Unfortunately, they also argued as Sayaka's clothes were destroyed, which they argued about that she could just magically make it reappear, and so she did. Meanwhile, the demon girl have now moved up right behind Kenta. So let's continue. I'm beginning to grow uneasy. I instinctively throw a glance over my shoulder, only to be met with a maniacal smile. Boo. You! She's right behind me. How did she manage that? Then again, I suppose it probably wasn't that difficult a feat, with how distracted my supposed guardians can get. I stumbled backwards with a gasp, just narrowly avoiding her outstretched grasp. Sorry? There we go, cold water. I stumbled backwards with a grasp, just narrowly avoiding her outstretched grasp as she reaches for me with a limp. It was the gasp and grasp part that I just got dabble. Kenta! Ah, damn it. It's so close as well. The dark girl winces and her shoulders sink. It seems like she barely has any strength left, as she just barely keeps a hold of her scythe limply at her side. Maybe the combined attack before was more effective than I first thought, and it finally caught up to her, all her energy reserves well and truly spent. This was probably her last-ditch attempt to get me. I'm lucky I turned around when I did. She gives me a narrowed glare as she staggers back a few steps, my bodyguards catching up to me. Amber eyes full of hatred, she shifts her gaze to Sayaka and Hikari. Looks like it's my turn to retreat for the night. Don't think you've won anything just yet. You got lucky with that cheap shot, but don't expect it to work a second time. Kenta will be mine. But don't worry, I'm not cruel enough as to part ways without leaving you with something to play with. Until we meet again. She begins to sink back into the shadows, giving off another devious laugh despite her limping retreat. That last part of what she said worries me. Something to play with? Like hell you're going anywhere. We're going to finish this fight right here and now. Hikari, maybe we should be... Hikari disregards her partner's advice and blazes forward, sword at her ready. It seems her blade was just about to connect with Yuzuki before she can make her escape. But something suddenly whips out, as if appearing out of nowhere, and takes Hikari off of her feet, hoisting her high into the air. A thick, slimy appendage. A tentacle? Well, there's our thumbnail. That was early on. It's only about 3 minutes in. It was H, wasn't it? Haha, it was! Hooray! Print screen. It might get better, but let's start with this one. Hikari drops her sword after being blindsided by the beast and is left wrestling helplessly against the writhing tendrils as they work to ensnare her. Wow! Hey, no! Let me go! I see her hands give off a glow. That's right. If she doesn't have a weapon, she still has her magic. She should be able to make quick work of She should be able to make quick work of this thing, sword or not. Now I'll show you. Huh? Or maybe not. The beast is one step ahead of her and works to bind her hands, leaving her well and truly helpless. The tentacles creep ever closer, oozing in pungent substance that coats a good majority of her. This is so disgusting. I don't think all the showers in the world are going to be able to get this stuff out of my hair. She bemoans a disgusting predicament as she thrashes around, ultimately resulting in the tentacles constricting tighter against her. Okay, so she can't save herself. But her trusty partner should be able to pierce the tentacles with a well-placed arrow, right? Right? Bad doggies, sit! Down! Stay! What? When did they show up? Sayaka is surrounded by a pack of those demonic dogs from before, the ones that nearly took my life. They must have charged in at the same time as the tentacled creature made itself known. Were they summoned by Yuzuki, I wonder? Wait, can she control them? Hello? Is anyone actually going to help here? This isn't as fun as it looks, you know. Hikari keeps up a brave front, but I can see the tentacles are taking their toll on her. This is bad. Both of them are held up by monsters. While Sayaka is handy with the bow, I don't think she's all that good at close-up combat, so she might be in trouble here. And then, Hikari is clearly in need of assistance. The tentacles might completely crush her if nothing is done soon. So with both of them struggling, who's left to help them? Me? But I haven't ever fought anything in my life. I would have been dead long ago if these two hadn't made themselves known in my life. I clenched my fist tight and threw a glance between the two girls. They've risked so much to help me before while I've just stood on the sidelines like some sort of coward. They need my help. What can I do? I don't have any magic powers. I don't have any super strength. I can't fly. I'm useless. Useless! I stomp at the ground, cursing my weak nature. Huh? Something clatters at my foot. Hikari's sword. A sizable amount of steel that almost rivals Hikari herself in height. I crouch down to pick it up. Despite its size, it's surprisingly light. I'm able to take it up with just a single hand. This is crazy. I can't believe I'm even thinking about doing this. I straighten up and tighten my hold on the sword, giving it a test swipe into the air. It slices through without much resistance and gives off a satisfying swish. It'll be just this easy, right? Air's one thing, but to even think about using this thing on something living, even if they're monsters, I'm just not sure I can follow through with this. Yeah! Don't touch me! Back! Back! It's crushing me! Someone help! I can hear cries of distress from both sides. Time is running out. I've made up my mind. I can't save them both at once, though. Who needs help more urgently? Well, we've already gone down the road of Hikari, so let's go for that. I think it's clear that Hikari is the one in danger here. Those tentacles are pretty much squeezing the life out of her. I'm sure Sayaka has been in tougher situations before, so I feel confident in letting her handle those monsters. Hikari, hang on! I break into a sprint and head for the writhing mass of tentacles that have laid their assault on an unfortunate Hikari. Stupid thing! If you hadn't caught me off guard, I could have... She continues to kick and wriggle around in his hole, but if anything, I think she's only making the whole situation worse on herself. I come to a screeching halt as I reach the monster's sword in hand. The tentacles seem like they want nothing to do with me, only focus on continuing their attack on Hikari. Funny that. Okay, this should be easy. It's just like cutting away some weeds, right? Wriggling, slimy weeds. But weeds no less. I steel myself as I pull back the sword. I can't hesitate any longer or it might be too late. One clean swing is all I need to end this. So here I go. Yeah! The sword slices through the tentacles like butter, severing them in two and relinquishing their hold on Hikari. Oof. She lands with a sticky and slimy splash, looking somewhat dazed from the whole experience. Huh, I did it. I actually did something useful. The monster's body slinks into the shadows with a low groan. I guess I can't really do much with the majority of its tentacles now writhing on the ground. Kenta? Are you okay? Here, let me help you up. I hold my free hand out to her with an exalted smile. You don't have to... She takes a good moment to debate things in her mind, even attempting to push herself off the ground several times, only to slip right back down into the puddle of... whatever the heck that monster oozed. I get the feeling she isn't used to accepting help from people. Okay, fine. Whatever. She finally grabs a hold of my hand and I hoist her up. Yuck. Her hand is coated in that foul slime. I hope this stuff washes off. Once back on her feet, she takes a good moment to recompose herself. She tries to keep an air of dignity about herself, despite being drenched head to toe in that stuff. She surveys the scene, her eyes moving from the flickering tentacles cast aside to the ground, before finally settling on her sword still held firmly in my grasp. Her mouth is open in shock, having finally pieced together what happened. Was it you who saved me, Kenza? She's completely taken aback. Is it really that unbelievable that I did something useful for once? Okay, maybe it is. Yeah. I hope you don't mind that I had to borrow this. I can't help but feel embarrassed about it all. I was practically like a hero. It's a bizarre feeling. I hold out the sword towards her, still as lightweight as ever. This thing is amazing. It felt like I was swinging a feather back then. She takes it, after a few attempts of grabbing at air, her eyes still focused intently on me. She truly is shocked here. That's fine, but how were you able to... Wah! Down, boy! Get back! Sayaka's cries out of distress to cut things short. Whoops. I got so caught up in saving Hikari that I had completely forgotten about Sayaka. She's still dancing about, just barely keeping up with the rabid monsters. Hikari sighs and gives a sort of flourish. This will have to wait until later. She dashes towards the part with a burst of speed and makes short work of the offending creatures, killing them all with one precise slash. They erupt into smoke, which is whisked away by the night air. Sheesh, Sayaka. What were you doing playing around with these things? You could have been killed if it weren't for Kenta. Huh? Kenta? Finally able to catch her breath, Sayaka gives me a puzzled look as I wander over to them. Kenta, he saved me. Really? How on earth did he manage that? She is in as much a state of disbelief as Hikari was. I don't know. He just picked up my sword and... Your sword? How did he... I know. Your guess is as good as mine. Let's be thankful he could, though, or tonight might have ended up being our last. I get the feeling I'm missing something really important here. What's so special about me using her sword? I mean, I just picked it up and swung it. No big deal, right? Hikari suddenly lights up, strikes a pose, blade at the ready. Oh, that girl. Did she... Yusuke? Yeah, it looks like she got away while we were fussing over her pals. Damn it. We're so close. She stomps her foot in frustration, the slime no doubt oozed between her toes, giving up a squelch. Maybe it's for the best? I don't think either of us are in any kind of a condition to fight anymore. Sayaka sighs dramatically and throws her hands up in the air. She's right. I can't imagine how much worse things could have been if that girl had still been around. How about you, Kenta? How are you holding up? Me? Let's see. I'm drenched in sweat and my heart is still thumping like crazy from the adrenaline. I think I might throw up, and my head feels like it might split open at any moment. I'm okay, actually. Oddly enough, I really do feel fine. Better than fine, in fact. I'm happy I could finally do something, even if it wasn't much, so I'm not as much as a burden for these two. I think it's safe to say that we should call it a night now, huh? Hikari peers into the darkness, still holding her sword firmly. She seems reluctant about giving up on the fight so soon. Come on, Hikari, it's over. We won. Sayaka slaps a hand down Hikari's tense shoulder and she loosens up. Just a little. I refuse to believe she would just give up so easily. It doesn't make any sense. Didn't you see her? She was really beat up. I think we did more damage to her than she's letting on. I'd be surprised if she even shows up tomorrow night. Maybe. Hikari finally gives up, her sword fading with a dim light. She reluctantly joins the pair of us and we begin the journey home once more. And with that, the chaotic night finally comes to an end. I get to live for yet another day. After tonight, I'm more grateful than ever for the existence of my guardian angels. However bizarre they might be at times. We part ways once we reach my home. Though I know they'll be just a shout away if I need them, since they'll no doubt be camping in my garden once again. I really don't understand how they don't get caught. I shut the door behind me and I'm greeted with a familiar aroma of home cooking. Safe at last. I think. At least, the monsters haven't attacked me here anyway. They seem to only want to get me when I'm isolated from mostly everyone else. Let's hope that things stay that way. No one else has to be dragged into this mess. Heck, I still don't even know why I'm in this situation to begin with. I join my parents at the table, the plates only just being set up. I get the same questioning looks as before, maybe more so today because of how taxing that encounter had been on my body. I'm lucky enough to not have suffered any real damage, or at least anything noticeable at first glance, so they don't chase up any further on the matter. The usual conversations unfold, and once more it becomes my turn to talk about my day. I can only let out an awkward laugh and say it was the same as any other. I wonder how they'd react if I told them there are two complete strangers potentially camping in our backyard. The peaceful, relaxing dinner comes to an end. Much like last night, I made myself scarce and dragged myself up to my room, wanting nothing more than to collapse onto my bed for a good several days. Thankfully, it's the weekend tomorrow at least, so there's no worry about having to get up too early. But I get the feeling with those two girls around, I'm not going to be able to get much of a lie in. Speaking of the girls, do I even want to check? I heave a reluctant sigh and peek through the curtains. Yup. Tent, campfire, an overcooked meal catching alight as the pair scramble to put it out. That's about what I expected. I shut the curtains and ignore the fact that the entire garden is in danger from catching fire. I'm far too exhausted to worry about it right now. I'm sure it'll be fine. Most likely. Crawling into bed, the distressed cries of two supposed professionals are the last thing I hear before I drift off into the world of dreams. I awake with a groan, warm rays of the sun pulling me out of my slumber whether I like it or not. Alongside the expected headache, every muscle in my body screams out in protest as I try to push myself up. I don't get it. I didn't even exert myself that much the other day, so why do I feel so weak? It takes a good moment or so of struggling before my body finally complies and I tumble out of bed. I'm left staring at the ceiling in a daze for a second before I boot to life once more. What is wrong with me? Rising on shaky legs, I totter back and forth before I almost crashed into the wall in an effort to support myself. Okay, deep breath. It appears I may have forgotten how to walk. No big deal. Let's see if I can remember before I even think of attempting the stairs. Just one foot in front of the other. Left foot, right foot. Slowly but surely, I become steadier with each step I take. Phew! Maybe I'm just more tired than I realize. Having remembered the basics of human mobility once more, I head for the bathroom. As I approach the door, I can't help but feel a sense of déjà vu about the whole thing. Why is that, I wonder? I get the feeling there's something important I'm forgetting. Oh, yes! Something potentially life-threatening. But I can't recall it in such a groggy state. I'm sure I'll remember after a shower. Oh boy. That might be a little on the risque side for YouTube. I mean, it doesn't show anything. Yeah, better get a little bit of censoring up in this one. Oh, Sakura novels. Never change. Shower. As I open the door, I'm greeted by a wisp of warm steam and the sound of running water. It looks like I won't be able to use the shower right now, since it's being used? At least I think it is. I'm having a little bit of trouble coming to terms with the sight before me. What? Kenta? What are you doing? I blink a few times. Yup, still there. Sayaka is really there. Using my shower. Ha! I gawk for a while longer, my hand fumbling limply at the door handle. All I have to do is close the door again and stop this being any more awkward than it already has become. Setting aside the fact that they broke into my house yet again. How is this my fault? I thought they would have learned how basic locks work after the mishap from yesterday morning. If anything, I'm the victim here. It's not fair. Hello? Is anyone there? You can close the door now. Sayaka breaks me out of my thought as she attempts to cover herself the best she can, her face flush with embarrassment. She's a lot more subdued compared to her usual outgoing self. I guess that's to be expected in an awkward situation like this. A situation that I'm only making more awkward the longer I'm standing here wide-eyed by the door. If you don't mind. Oh, right. My bad. At least Sakura is more reasonable about the whole thing. I have a feeling if I had walked in on Hikari like this again, the house might not be standing. I averted my gaze somehow and pulled the door to a close. Locks, people. Locks. They exist for a reason. Sheesh. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to get that image of her out of my head now. Her wet hair, the water cascading down her body, I shake my head. Bad Kenta. You're better than this. Are you though? Yes, I don't think so. After all the commotion from what I'm hoping won't be a regular thing, I find myself downstairs with both of the girls. Really, guys? Is this necessary? There's no school today, remember? But that's exactly why we're here. Sakura beams a while with a smile almost as bright as the sun itself. What? Kenta, you don't have many friends, do you? Where on earth did that come from? She isn't joking around either. She says it with such a sincere look. Don't be stupid. I have plenty of friends. Oh, name one. Hikari too? Oh, look at that smirk. Look at that smirk. Look at that smirk. I'm beginning to feel I'm being ganged up on here. Friends? That's easy. There's... well, let's see. How about... No. I guess I just say good morning to them and that's it. But surely... I guess I can't really count them either, since I've only worked a couple of times on projects with them. Uh-oh. This is bad. I can't actually come up with anybody. The look on my face says it all, and Hikari has a smug look about her. Oh yes, she does. I better change the subject. Fast. That doesn't matter. Why are you guys bringing this up anyway? It's just, we noticed at school that you never really seem to talk to anyone. Well, that's because I've been busy dealing with you guys. Okay, grasping at straws here, but it's the best I can come up with. Somehow I get the feeling that they are not convinced. Heck, I'm not convinced even by my own words. And over the past few weeks we've been watching over you. You only seem to ever leave the house for school and before you come right back. Don't you get lonely, Kenta? It's not good for someone to completely shut themselves away like that. And after that, your parents always seem to be away working. So it's just you, all on your own. Hey now, you shouldn't be worried about that part, or you wouldn't be able to use my house as freely as you do. But I guess she has a point. One I have realized myself, even if I don't want to fully admit to it. Which is why we're going to do something fun today. All three of us. She claps her hands together and snaps me out of my depressing thoughts. Believe it or not, Hikari and I don't really get a lot of free time either, so we've never really been able to enjoy a weekend like this. Hey, we're still on duty, you know. Don't forget that. But if Kenta has decided he wanted to go out on such a sunny day, well, we would have no choice but go along with him. Okay. I guess I don't really have a say in the matter, do I? They both smile innocently. I'm sure I'm being manipulated here. So, what did you have planned for today? And that's where we'll end the episode. We shall see what the girls have in mind in the next episode. But until then, take care.